So sorry, we just lost connection there. So comparing linear momentum and rotation, sorry, linear motion and rotational motion, we have some parallels. Okay, so we have a velocity which is in terms of meters per second in linear motion. For rotational motion, we have tangential velocity which is the same as this, which will be measured in terms of meters per second. But then we also have something called angular velocity. Okay, and angular velocity is strictly speaking measured in radians per second, which is a measure of angle. But you can also talk about it in terms of degrees per second. Okay, and then we have mass. Better we talk about acceleration first over here. Acceleration, okay, which is the change in the velocity, and we can also have angular acceleration. Is that called angular acceleration? What do we call it? Centripetal acceleration. Okay. What causes the acceleration in linear motion? A force. What causes centripetal acceleration? Centripetal force. Okay, there are equivalents for everything. And then the force creates an acceleration on an object with a certain mass. So there is a way to connect these three using the second law. Similarly, we also have for rotational motion, the mass component equivalent is your rotational inertia. Okay, and now we come to the fifth point, which is that you can also talk about the momentum of an object which is undergoing linear motion. If it accelerates, then there is a change in momentum, and then the rate of change of momentum gives you the force. So you can connect all of these, the top four concepts. You can connect it through the concept of momentum. Is there an equivalent in rotational motion for the same thing? Well, yes, it turns out there is, and it is called as angular momentum. So put that in a different color because that's the topic of study. And angular momentum, as it turns out later, becomes a very, very important concept to understand. Okay, so what is angular momentum is what we are attempting to understand. So I have about 7.5 minutes, so I'll just give an introduction to angular momentum. We will pick it up in more detail tomorrow. So angular momentum, we will not examine angular momentum quantitatively, okay, but we will examine it in terms of qualitatively. What I mean by that is when we take linear momentum, momentum is given the symbol P, we can calculate it by the product of the mass and the velocity of the object. We will not do that treatment for angular momentum because we do not have the maths to deal with it yet. But what do we mean by angular momentum? Okay, so angular momentum is the consequence of the rotational inertia of an object undergoing angular velocity. Okay, so obviously it must be some product of these two things. Okay, but we will not look at it like that. How do we know something about angular momentum? I don't know if you people have tried this out. I have seen many students try this out in the what is this? Is it recognizable in any form?
The merry-go-round thingy.
Yeah. So the carousel in the jungle gym, right? So there are more bars than that. So there is an axis through which it rotates. Okay, and I have asked students to do this, which is that I asked them to kind of stand on this, and hold on to the bar like that. Okay, and then you start them spinning. So somebody gives a push. Obviously, you have to give a push from outside. You have to give a torque in order to get it to start rotating. But then once this is set in motion, what I ask them to do is I ask them to stick out their bodies as far as they can go um, outward. So they kind of look something like that. Actually, you have to do it the other way around, but it's okay. I'll explain it like this. So they kind of do this. Kind of looks a bit risky, but it really isn't. I don't know how many people have tried this. Okay. Uh, what do you see happening when that is done?
The rotation speed decreases.
The wait, you'll have to be clear. There are two things, right? You have tangential velocity and then you have angular velocity. So let's talk in terms of the correct technical terms. So what happens? Centrifugal force. You will experience a centrifugal force. That's because you're holding on to the bars. So when you go out, you kind of feel like you're spinning around. Actually, what should be done is we should do the other way around. We should start with people sticking out like that, and then you spin it, and then you ask people at the count of 3. So I usually say it like 1, 2, 3, and I ask them both to pull themselves in at the same time. And when they do it in a coordinated manner, something happens. What happens? So yeah, Neeraj says that because I had originally given the the situation in the other way around. So but now I'm saying this is 1, and then you go to step 2. So Neeraj said when you go from here to there, the whole thing, I guess you mean the carousel slows down. But if you do this from 1 to 2, and both of you are doing it in a coordinated way. In fact, you can do it with 3 people also, because I think we in our carousel we have 3 or 4 ways in which people can hang. But it's not.
Arun sir,
Yeah.
may I say something?
Yeah, please.
All I'll say is that if you get too away from the center, you'll experience hell. If you go to the center, it's relatively nice.
No, but you're not going right to the center in this case. I'm saying overall what
Yes, but
happens. Overall,
from
what
your
happens to the system of the carousel and the 2 friends on it?
the friends will experience that the fictional force of centrifugal will decrease.
Why will the frictional force decrease? I mean,
Sorry,
essentially the
fictional. So fictional.
the fictitious
Yeah.
force.
Yes.
No, forget about the centripetal and the centrifugal force. I'm just asking, what will you experience? What will the two of you likely experience? And of course, it's a kind of a trick question in the sense that only those who have done it or those who can get the concept, they will be able to say this directly. And most probably the people who have done it will be the ones who know. And Neeraj is right. So what's going to happen is that when the two people come in closer, what you will find is that the angular velocity will increase. Okay, so I have less than a minute and a half left now. So I just try to
Decreases.
angular velocity increases. Okay, which means the number of turns per second will increase. Okay, no external forces have been applied, or let's say the external forces are negligible in this case. There is some frictional force, but let's say that they are so small that we can forget about them. Then the angular velocity increases. So how is it possible for the angular velocity to increase, right, when there has been no external force applied? So that's
So
the question that we have to try and get the answer to. So
may I have a response?
40 seconds left. So
I
I
can
don't think
try.
quickly.
Okay, I am saying, you're saying how can their angular velocity increase? I am saying the angular velocity is increasing because the rotational inertia decreases.
Yeah, so what we know is the rotational inertia decreases. So what is the
And it
relationship
decreases
between
because
the mass
towards
distribution
the
reduces?
because
So
the
so
body
how does,
Sir, should
yeah,
we
tends to the
rejoin?
axis of rotation.
okay, I think we'll
Sir, should we
rejoin now.
rejoin?
8 seconds left. Yeah, I'll start it again.